Michael White.
And it's Anthea Morphetis, and welcome to tonight's show, or today's show, or anywhere you
Yeah,
are in the world.
wherever you are in the world, because everyone's in different time zones.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, um, guys, this topic's going to be very interesting for everybody. I think all of our topics are interesting, to be honest. Um, but a lot of people like to still stay in touch with their ex lover while still looking for love.
I just spoke to someone the other day who's exactly doing that, in touch with their
Mm.
ex-lover, and said that they're best friends now. Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
you know what? If he's doing that, yeah, he definitely gets that. And again, I don't want to laugh at him, but he'll get a little bit of that too. Because it look, guys, it doesn't make sense for you to keep your ex lover around when you know it didn't work with them, but you're looking for love somewhere else. Let's get into it, guys. Before we share today's video, you're blocking your blessing when you do that.
Absolutely, because who's going to come along and accept that there's an ex-lover around and you guys hang out together and chill out together? I mean, how does that even work?
You know
How,
what? And I
I
love
think you
that
have
you're
the trust
saying.
behind that. Like, honestly.
I love that you're saying that because I've heard all the excuses in the book. I had a friend, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm still friends with my ex, but I'm looking for love somewhere else. But as soon as I get a boyfriend, I cut him off. Why don't you cut him off now?"
That's such a using technique. You're literally using a person. Like, that's like literally getting a tissue, using it, and going, "I've got no use for you anymore," and binning it when you're ready. Like, I
But you know
mean,
what it comes down to, and we're going to be honest on this podcast. They're comfortable
in what sense? You just said they're
with the ex.
comfortable.
With the ex,
Yeah,
they're,
absolutely.
they're
Because they've
comfortable.
been there already. They can have those
Mhm,
conversations. Like they say,
mhm.
it didn't work out romantically, so we'll stay friends. But I'm sure when both of you are quite down and you need somebody around, then I'm sure things take place.
Well,
And
think about it. You know they're always going to validate you. You know that they're always going to give you a time, attention, and energy.
yep,
You know that and this is a big if you ever want to swing back to the bedroom fun, they're available.
yep.
So, but that's the thing. I told this person, "You're never going to find a boyfriend." And they said, "How could you say these things to me?" And I said, "You're keeping an ex around, benefiting from the benefits.
Mm.
Because what happens if you don't find a new guy? You're still going to keep him around, but as soon as the new guy comes, you're going to cut him off.
Yeah, that's not
Why don't
on.
you just do it now?
Just do it. Because they
There's
don't
nothing
want
there."
to. They don't want to because there's benefits from it. You get to speak to
Mhm.
a male, which is really, like, for women, it's definitely nice to have a male friend. It's always nice to speak to a male rather than a female at times. So if you've got somebody who's willing to be there, listen, and even sleep with you if you want it, then like, that is just pure using. Because if you're saying, when I get a man, I'm saying goodbye to him, like, who are you to do that? Like, in the first place, who are you
You
to
should
play
have just
with
did it
somebody like
before.
that? Yeah, but you're playing with somebody's life, right? It's like,
I agree with you. You should have just cut them off as soon as the relationship ended.
done.
The understanding should have been like, "I'm not coming back. This is it.
Yeah, that's it.
We're not having a discussion. We're not going to bandage it up by saying we're still going to be friends." Like, no, it's over.
But people will really, when I say, I've heard it so many times, and they try and convince themselves when they're saying it. It's like they think they're trying to convince you, but
Yeah.
well, like we always say, it comes back down to self. You're not trying to convince me or you. You're convincing yourself to say, no, it's just a friend. It's just a friend.
Mhm.
Yeah, but my point of that is, when do you ever sleep with your friends?
I hope not. Let's just say, I
Exactly.
hope not. I hope not.
Exactly. So you're not just friends because you've been there already. So it's gone past the friendship stage. even if you've walked your own way, you're no longer in that friendship stage. You can't go back to a
No,
friendship.
because you've shared your body with them and everything
Thank
else.
you,
So
in
there's
every
no
way.
saying, well, now we're just friends. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But they will try and convince you and well,
mhm.
like I said, they think they're trying to convince you, but they're trying to convince themselves, because I don't need convincing. Like, at the end of the day, what do I care what you do? Like, if that's what you choose to do, then that's your business. And if I know about it, then that's where my choice is. But don't try and convince me like it's just whatever it is, like it's just this or just that. Like, I think people need to be true to themselves, because they're lying to themselves. They think that they're saying it to somebody else, but you're not. You're lying to yourself.
Well,
You're
it's
trying to convince
interesting
yourself.
because we ran a poll on Instagram about this, and a lot of people said, once it's over, it's over.
Yeah,
Because they don't want to be. Think about it. When you keep this person around, you're just reminded of what didn't work.
yeah,
Every day, you're talking to them, you're hanging out, you're reminded every day of your failed relationship.
yeah,
And why would you want that looming around you?
yeah.
It
Or you're
doesn't
going
make.
to be or you're going to be reminiscing about what happened before, and how,
Mhm.
the times that you had together. For what reason?
Exactly. Or tell them about the new guy that you might be seeing, like, or
Yeah, like,
girl.
no. And I wouldn't want my man to be telling another woman about me. She doesn't. I don't need that to be happening. Like, I don't need somebody else's opinion about me. Like, you either like me and want to be with me, or you don't need to go and tell a female. And if you're telling a female, it's like, for me, it doesn't sit right with me. It's like,
Well, let's
why
put
would
it
a
into
female
context.
need to know about me, what I do, or about my
Well,
bedroom, or about anything,
well, no, no. Like, let's put it into context. I think what you're trying to say is if you got to know a guy and you liked him and he still had his ex around and he told his ex, like, yeah, I'm seeing this new girl, it's like she shouldn't even be there in the first place.
Yeah, that's it. But what I'm saying, you go deeper into that, because he could be expressing, about us sexually, how what we do,
Mm,
like, my personality, or about all the things that I'm about, that he's getting to learn. If that's a friend, then he might want to express them. That means
mm.
I've got this
Yeah, I
female
see.
that I don't know getting to know stuff about me that I don't even know who she is, but she's getting to know things
And
about,
she's an ex, and she's an ex
and she's
lover
an ex.
too.
So it's a no for me. It's a
But
no.
see, that's what's interesting because when you get to know somebody, you have to ask these questions.
Yeah,
Before you didn't have to. Now you do.
yeah,
And a lot of times people will tell you, well, I'm not going to stop talking to them. Okay, cool. Then we're not dating.
yeah.
It's that
So,
simple. Because a lot of people will say, well, no, me and him are friends or me and her are friends. Cool. You want to keep them? No problem. We're not
mm,
telling people to be controlling or cool. You can do what you want. You're just not having a relationship with me.
mm,
That's what it comes down to. And you might not like it, but that's what it is because I believe that any self-respecting person would not allow that or not accept that or be as acceptable to that.
yeah. Because you know what? You might say, like, if you're somebody who's a pleaser to others, you
Hmm.
could, especially a female, let's say, and she says, and she just wants to be with this guy, so she just wants to please him, so she just goes along with it and says, "Oh, okay, cool." At some point, it's gonna cause a problem. I don't care who you are, where you're from, it will cause a problem one day when your man's calling you and saying, "I'm going to meet up with my ex and I'm taking her out to dinner." At that point, yeah, at that point, as if you're gonna go, "All right, babe, enjoy your evening with her." That is
See,
so, that's
that's what people
disrespecting. It's
that's what
disrespectful.
people don't understand is why are you inviting problems into your life? That's a
Exactly.
problem.
It's a problem. Of course, it's a problem, because I could be nice and loving and the rest of it, but if my man's going out with another woman, then you're obviously not interested in me that much, because
No.
you're choosing to go out with her, rather than you're prioritizing her
And
rather than
she's an ex.
yeah, she's an ex, and your excuse is 100% going to be, "But I've known her for years."
Or
And
we
what has
dated
that
for X,
got to?
or we
Yeah,
dated for XYZ, whatever.
And that's even more digging a hole to be saying that. Oh, well, we dated for 5 years. Like, that's even more reason not to go out with her, because what business have you got going to go and see your ex, or sitting and hugging her when she's down, or her hugging you when you're down, or rubbing your back, or the rest of it when
That's
you
a
have a
problem.
woman?
Yeah.
Straight away, it's a disrespect. You cannot grow from that point, because you're not growing in your and developing your relationship from a respectful platform. You're now starting from a disrespectful platform. So where are
Agreed.
you? How are you going to build a solid brick wall from that? You're not.
Agreed. Agreed. So we're gonna get ready to share today's video, guys. Hopefully it works. Fingers crossed. But Anthea hasn't seen this one, so again, we'll be able to break it down, and we'll have fun, and it should be exciting.
Once we break up, I don't give a fuck. Like, once we up, I don't give a fuck. What you do, who you do, where you stick this at, who you put in what. You no longer my business no more, man. And I'm sorry, I don't mean that I don't care about you, but I don't give a fuck about what you doing, because I cared about what the fuck you was doing when we was together, and you wasn't doing what I needed. You wasn't there when I needed you. You didn't value or respect me. So if you couldn't care about me and what the was going on in our relationship, why am I gonna give a hell or a fuck about what you're doing outside of our relationship? I don't care no more. We are not together. You single, go have fun. Because you know what I'm gonna be doing while you doing all that, trying to woman or man in that person's face. You know what I'm gonna be doing? I'm gonna be healing. I'm gonna be growing. I'm gonna be happy for not dealing with your bullshit no more. So listen, if you gotta go move on to girl B or person A or man B or person C, it don't make me no difference. You know what I'm gonna move on to? My healing. Break up, I don't give a
Okay, so hopefully you guys caught some of that. Is there anything that you want to share, Anthea, before I dig in?
I was just thinking, I wonder if there's a way I can share it from my side, but I think we'd have to log out and come back in for that. So
Yeah.
no, I agree with what he's saying. At the end of the day, once you're gone, you're gone. It's my time to heal. It's my time. There's a reason why we split up. So whatever that reason is, I need to bring myself back to center. I need to refocus, and I need to move forward. I don't need to think about what my ex is doing. And if he's like, if he's doing really well, yes, obviously, like he rightfully pointed out, doesn't mean you don't care. Like, but you don't caring and spending time with someone is two different things. You can care from a distance. You don't have to be around somebody to care for somebody. You can care for anyone anywhere in the world. You don't have to see them or communicate with them. So I think once a relationship is over, it's over. It's done. It's like you're now looking in your rear view mirror. You're done. Why would you keep looking back and reverting back to that? You're being dishonest to yourself, disloyal to yourself, and disrespectful to yourself, because you're totally blocking what your healing process, because you have to keep seeing them because you don't want to let go. And I think that's what it comes down to. If people going back to their ex to say they're good friends now, it's because they don't want to let go and they don't want to accept that it's over. So it's easier to keep them around, because then they don't feel like it's actually broken. It's actually, there's something still there. There's a chance somewhere in someone's mind. There's a chance still, Michael, 100%. So yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to say this before I go off on my tangent. What more do you want from me? He said something very interesting. You didn't care about what was going on in the relationship, So why am I going to care what you're doing once we've broken up?
After the relationship.
When
Yeah.
you didn't care what was happening in it.
Yeah. Such a good point, right?
You're going to do what you're going to want to do, whatever it is. I'm going to go chase healing.
Yeah.
I think for me, that was a big deal because you see, a lot of people, and I love that you touched on this, say, oh, I want to keep my ex around. They want to try to keep everything implausible. You can still cut someone off and still be plausible.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people don't understand. They want to try to keep everything sunshine and roses and, with a garden and everything is so like la da 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 da. When it's like, no, once we're finished, we're finished.
Mm-hmm.
And most people can't. You can't handle the truth. Handle that.
You can't. You can't.
Because once we break up, your access now to me is revoked.
Absolutely.
And that's what people don't understand is you want to try to keep them around. You want to be amicable. You want to be the little tooth fairy or the little fairy where everything is nice. No, once we've broken up, even if it's like in a good way or in a bad way, you're finished. We don't have anything else to discuss after that. If it's an understanding that, hey, this relationship's not working out, we don't need to be together anymore. With that understanding comes, I am removing myself from your life, period.
Mm-hmm. But I think this goes in, let's go to a wider range here to say that so many people fear the unknown. As far as I'm concerned, your life is unknown. You never know what's going to happen in the next second. But people seem to have this thing of, especially with the relationship, they're scared to let go because they don't. They're scared of what is coming next and what can happen next. So the known to them is a safe place. So they keep the ex around because it feels comfortable. It feels safe. It feels known to them. When actually, it's all about stepping forward and letting go of what hasn't worked and allowing what can work to walk into your life. Because, like, could you imagine, right? Imagine, let's say I'm getting married. Let's say someone's asked me to marry them and I'm getting married. And I've got my ex-boyfriend standing there looking. How would that make my man feel? And he's looking and he's like, why is your ex-boyfriend looking at us like that? Why is he looking like he wishes it was him?
But why is he here?
Why is he here? Why is he here? Look, I won't say who. One of my children's dad just got married. Now, could you imagine if I turned up? Like, hi! No. What would I need to do there? Like, there's no reason for me to be there, you know?
And I agree with you. See, that's the thing. Once our relationship ends and it goes, and you're getting the boot, or somebody's booting somebody,
or you're booting each other, either which way.
Booting each other.
Yeah.
Within all of that comes, we're finished. But again, you touched on something very interesting because we are a creature of habit, right? And we're creatures of comfort. So what we want to try to do is try to manipulate and maneuver where it doesn't sound that bad. Oh, we're still friends. You want to try to shift the situation, try to adjust the picture frame to meet your standards or to match your beliefs, even though you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong to keep them around because I guarantee you, and I always try to tell men this or women, but it is mostly women because they want to stay friends with their exes. A lot of guys I know aren't. What happens is I tell them the truth. You're never going to find somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said as soon as you go on that first date or second or third date and he starts digging deep into the details of like your friends, your family, who you are, what it is you stand for, and you bring up and he asks you about your relationship dating history and you're like, yeah, me and my ex are still friends. I guarantee you he's gonna be like, waiter, check. because no sensible person is going to want to deal with that.
Yeah. And I've done it. I've done it where I've stayed friends. And actually, there was always, we would, and it's funny because as much as we we'd lie to ourselves. That's what I was saying. We completely lied to ourselves. We're just friends. Because if we had been in each other's presence, then it straight away, it was ready for the next step. Because it doesn't work like that. You can't be in a relationship for all that time and share all that compassion, that passion, that love, that all of that stuff that comes together of bonding and connecting in a relationship, and then go your own way, but not go your own way and still come back together, and no one's got nothing on their mind but purity, that is just a female or it's just a male. No way. It goes against science.
We touched on this on the podcast because I used my own experience that an ex came back, and she came back just to check in. And I'm like, why are you checking in? Yeah. Like, we broke up, and I said, I'm looking for a future partner. You're not willing to give that to me because we broke up for a reason. So there's no need for us to stay in each other's space. What I'm looking for, you can't give.
No, you're checking in to see, are you available? Basically,
no, the person's checking in to see if you're still interested. If just the fact that they know that you still either love them, care about them, or hold some type of like, not like resentment, but like still some type of reverence for them.
It's an ego thing, man.
That's what it is. It's like, oh, like they're still interested. They still love me. No, like, and that's why you have to put your foot down. If you break up with someone, you chase your healing. And we're always going to advocate that. You go and chase your healing. But at the same time, say, is there anything that is going to block from me getting my healing or a new partner? And having an ex around is going to block you from getting a new partner. Because I had an associate of mine who was a female who broke up with somebody, and I kid you not, guys, like this is no cap. She was afraid to bring new guys around because, like, this person, they lived in the same area, right? And she was afraid to bring new guys around, like new guys that she might be interested in, or a guy, just in case he saw that new guy, and she was afraid of what he would think of her. I'm like, are you bullshitting me right now? Excuse my language. I'm like, you guys are not together. If you bring a guy home that you're interested in, it's not, who cares what he thinks?
He shouldn't be around to even think, as in about anything to do with you.
No, but it's like, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, because he shouldn't be there. So if he's not there,
he's not even there. Like, I'll give you a beautiful example. Like where you're living at now, right? Let's say you had an ex that lived like 5 minutes away from you, right?
Yeah.
Hypothetically, right? And you guys broke up.
Yeah.
And then you met a new guy.
Yeah.
But then you know that your ex is just like, he'll leave to go to his car, do groceries and stuff. So you still see him.
Yeah.
Right? But then you have this fear of like, well, what if I bring a new guy and he sees that new guy and what he thinks about?
I wouldn't care what he thinks. That's his business. And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and if he come up to me and said to me, "Oh, I see you've got a new guy," I would say to him, "I think you need to look and see what you're doing. Don't watch what I'm doing. Don't worry about what I do."
But that's what it would come down to is some people are so afraid to let the person go because, as you said, fear. And it's just like, for what reason? They have no spot in your life no more.
No, it's always to do with fear. Every decision is made out of love or fear. That's just that's how it comes down to. So if you're deciding to stay friends with an ex, it's because you either love them or you're fearing that you'll lose them. So it's one of the
keep your options open.
You want to keep your options open, but keeping your options open is through fear.
That's true.
That you're not going to meet somebody else.
That's true. So then you still get the attention, validation, everything that you need from them, without the commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, if you decide you're going to go and just see someone and you just want to have some fun with them, it doesn't matter who they've got around, because you're not planning on sticking around and they're not planning on sticking around. It's just what it is. I don't think you need to really go into whether, even if you find out they've got an ex around, as long as if you know that you're not going to have your emotions involved and you're just going to go and do what you're doing, then that's fair enough. But if you want to get serious and you want a serious, deep relationship with someone, you want true love, you want to experience that fulfillment of a great relationship, then my advice is don't have your exes around.
Thank you. It's that simple. It's not complicated, but we as human beings complicate it. And I always say this, like, as you said something so interesting. Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? The lies.
Yeah,
the lies.
Yourself. That's all it is. You people think, like I said at the beginning, people think they're lying to you. They're not. You're lying to yourself. Like what? It doesn't matter what you're saying to me. It's you're the one that's got to walk with that and carry that and have that in your mind and in your heart and in your being, not me. Like
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm friends with none of my exes. I'm friends with none of them, and I'm not even friends with any of my, let's say, like, hookups. I'm friends with none of them.
No.
But I'll tell you why.
I used to be.
And I'll tell you why. Because I am protecting myself so that when I get into a relationship, I don't have to have that conversation. When I meet the girl of my dreams, I don't have to tell her, yeah, I'm still friends with my ex, Judy, or I'm still friends with whoever. Like, I don't have to have the conversation. So now it's a burden off my shoulders. Because imagine when you know that you're keeping your ex around, and in your mind, you know that if you tell this person that, they're going to leave. You know this. So I don't want to have to deal with that internal conflict. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to deal with, yeah, I'm still friends with my ex, and you know they're going to look at you left. You know they're going to be like, why? So for me, I don't have to ever have that conversation. It's easy for me. Are you friends with any of your exes? No, move on. Next. What's next? What are we going to talk about next?
Don't need to be. Really don't need to be. There's like I really hope that people do get this and realize and actually be really true to yourselves. Like, you know, some people might be hearing this going, oh, what are they talking about? You know, we're good friends. No, honestly, stand in the mirror and ask yourself.
Don't just listen to us, guys. Hear what we're saying to you.
Be true to you and listen to yourself. And no, you will have your own, you'll know your answer is this. Ask yourself, if my ex, let's say as a woman here, if you say to yourself, my ex, we both sat down and we had a couple of drinks together and we had a good conversation and he came on to me, would I do something with him? And you would. Don't try and lie to yourself. Be true to yourself. You would, because that's why.
That's the thing, guys. I want you guys to not just hear us, but listen to what we're saying. It goes against your feelings, and we understand that. But use logic. If you're looking for love, or you're looking for a relationship, get rid of the barriers. You see, the thing is with me, I don't have to have the conversation with the person. I get to have the conversation with them. Because as soon as they ask me, hey, are you friends with your ex? Nope. Are you? And then if they tell me, well, yes, I am. Well, it's interesting. Okay. I don't think we need to see each other no more.
Well, you can give them the option. I suppose you could say, like, look, you know, my values are that I'm not, you know,
I don't date women that keep their exes around. That would be the deciding factor. And because again, I've had people get mad at me for telling me, like, and again, we've very transparent on this podcast. I've liked a girl before. I said, hey, like, you know, I think you're really interesting. Can we get to know each other on a romantic level? She said, I'm not looking for that. I said, okay, no problem. But I said, I can't be friends with you either.
Because you know what will happen as well. Here's another point here that's just come to mind, right? So if you've got, especially a female, say it's the female that the man she's met has his ex-girlfriend around. Now, if as time goes on, like I said earlier on, there will come a point where you're going to get pissed off that he's going out and speaking with her often. So what's going to happen? He's going to get put in the middle, and then he's going to have to make a decision while you're in a relationship. So if then he decides, actually, I want to be with my girl, and you're going to say goodbye, what's going to happen with her? She's going to cause problems, the friend. And she's going to start going, yeah, right? It's going to start.
And that's what I want to avoid. See,
Right.
that's what I wanted to say.
snake
That's what I
will bite
wanted
you,
to
man.
avoid, because now, think about it. Okay, Anthea just said it yourself. You get with a new person. You're still friends with your ex. Now you have to cut your ex off, right? So then think about it. That becomes a problem, because now you've got this new person. This new person obviously requires a lot of your attention. And then you have to cut your ex off. And then it's like, hey, man, we just built this amazing friendship. And now you're just letting me go.
Yeah. And that's not fair on her or him or whoever.
Exactly. So it's like, why create the problem?
Yeah.
That's what I like to say. Just get rid of them. Because again, if you're friends with your ex, which you like to say, or the world likes to say, and then you go and meet someone new, you don't think your partner, that's the thing. Their partner's not going to ask you to cut them off, but they're going to let you know that it's not acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing. And you have a personal choice to make. You see, they're not telling you to cut them off, but they're letting you know, I don't entertain that. So they're letting you know that if you want to be in a relationship with them, that you cannot have that type of energy or that type of situation around you. So then you have a personal choice to make. Do I want to be with this person more and keep the ex around, or am I going to let go of the ex and explore this love?
Yeah. And if you're going to choose to keep the ex around, just know you're going to be forever single.
Yeah, I wish we had a forever single button, but yes, you will be forever single.
You will.
Honestly, you're going to be out here yelling, sounding like a T-Rex. Why does it no one want to take me serious? Why does it no one want to date me? Why does it no one want to date me? It's because you keep these type of situations around.
And you know what? Like you just said, right? So there's you're going to have to come to a point where you say goodbye to that ex regardless, right? Because you're going to cause problems. So why hurt that person later on, and why put yourself in that situation where you have to go to your ex and say, you know what, darling, or you know, whatever you're going to call your man, whatever, your ex, you know what, I really like this girl, or I really like this guy, like I really, really want to be with them, but that means I won't be able to see you.
And think about it, you've already broken their heart once, and now you're breaking their heart again.
But you're listen to what you're having to say to them. You don't want to have to see you, which means that you was in your head, you were still with them. Otherwise,
well, you're breaking their heart. You're breaking their heart twice.
Yeah,
because you guys have moved to friends. Let's say hypothetically, according to dating, you've put them in the friend zone. So then now, when you meet the guy or girl that you want, now you have to break their heart again by telling them that you can't keep them around because you found love.
Yeah. So but the only way you can break someone's heart if there's something in it. So that's why I'm telling people are lying to themselves, because you can't break someone's heart if you have no emotion and no feeling towards them. If you don't,
break their heart once. Break their heart once. That's
it. And walk away. Otherwise, just the fact you're breaking the heart the second time means all that time somebody had emotions involved.
You know what? And again, we're going to bring this up because this is going to make everybody laugh. Clearly, you guys all watch movies, right? And if you've ever seen like any movie where the girl or whoever is still keeps the ex around them, they're friends, and she's marrying a new guy, let's say hypothetically, right? Yeah. And we've all seen it in movies when the priest says, "Is there anybody here that is against this marriage?" The ex-person pops up and says, "I'm against this."
Yeah, then, I want to marry you. I've loved you the whole time.
Exactly. And then the person on the like doing like the getting married, one of them, the guy or the girl's like, "Yeah, I can't marry you. I still love Jim or Jessica over there." And then the person's left standing on the altar.
Yeah, you just messed up another person's head. Well done.
You don't think that happens in real life? Like, yes, movies are very they fabricate a lot, but that happens in real life.
That's where movies come from. There's something they don't just come out of the air. They're taken from like actual life, things that are real, and they put it into a movie and make it all like
exactly. And that's what people don't think of, because imagine you get married to someone and you have your ex sitting in the stands, and you know that they still have feelings for you, or maybe they don't, but why would you even have them sitting there anyways? Because the person that you're marrying is going to be looking at them like, I got her now, or I got him. Yeah. Why are you going to want to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, man?
It's a no.
Like, if you see them on the street, that's completely different. But yeah, as Anthea said, going to coffee dates, talking to each other about each other's problems and stuff, like, no.
It's one thing talking to your boys about your girl. It's another thing, like the good stuff, whatever. It's another thing talking to your, did I say your boys and now your girls?
Your boys, your
boys. And then another thing, a woman talking to her girls about, my man, my new guy, but it's completely the other thing. My man talking to another woman about
ex, not another woman, ex.
His ex about, no, man, because she's gonna have something going on in her head. Of course she is.
Well, they're never gonna speak positive about you. They're always gonna say like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. They're not good for you."
Yeah.
So look, guys, to sum this up, don't do it. If you break up with somebody, let them go.
Honestly, let them go.
If you can't let them go, you need to do this.
Stop it. Get some help.
Go get some help. Oh, guys, I've made the mistake too. Because sometimes you care about someone deeply and it's hard to let go, but you need to put on your big boy pants or big girl pants, and that's just a part of life.
Yeah, and you know what? You're so on point, because I've done it. I've kept my exes around, and oh no, we're really good friends, and it's no,
because at the end of the day, it's unacceptable, man. Like, it is unacceptable for any situation, no matter how much, like, and this is why, like, and again, we have to talk about this on the podcast, letting people go. You got to feel comfortable letting people go. Just as much as you meet people, feel comfortable letting them go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Especially an ex. Because what are you going to talk about?
And what are you going to do with one another? Yeah, what do you want with one another?
Well, like, the old relationship, like, what are you going to talk? What new memories are you going to... Why are you going to want to make new memories when you're trying to find love somewhere else?
Yeah. If you want to keep your ex around, get with your ex and stay with your ex.
There you go. Exactly. If you want to keep them around, go get with them. But then you'll have people, oh no, me and them don't work. Then let them the damn go.
Yeah, what are you holding on to them for? Look,
somebody needs to be mature and be an adult and have the tough conversation and say, look, I understand we dated for a while, but I'm obviously out here looking for a relationship, guy or girl. I'm looking for love, and clearly me and you can't have that. I have to let you go. Sorry. Or not even sometimes. You just go. You don't have to explain yourself. Just go.
Yeah, you don't have to
explain yourself. Yeah, you break up, you go. You don't have to be like, look, like, no, just go.
Absolutely.
So look, guys, really take into consideration what we're saying. Please like, share, subscribe to the video. And then Friday, we have a powerful one coming up, which is actually ties into letting people go, is the power of walking away. So again, we will see
Friday's one.
That's Fridays.
Yeah.
So we will see you guys on Friday. But please, guys, like, share, subscribe to the video. Help us build it back up. Help us get to the top. And we'll keep providing you game-changing content. Excellent. So you guys have a good evening and take care.
Yes, and please take note of what we just said.
If you want love in your future, make the sacrifice.
Make the sacrifice. If it's finished, it's finished. You don't need... Listen, if you want to keep their number, I don't know, but there's no need to be meeting up, having conversations, and talking about who you've met, who
Anything.
you haven't met.
Anything.
It doesn't make sense. So,
Anything.
on that note, have a wonderful evening or afternoon or wherever you are.
You know what?
The
Before we go, we are forgetting something though.
What's that?
What circumstances where it is okay to stay in touch with the next lover?
Oh, okay. If there's children,
There we go.
involved,
See, that's what I was. Yeah, if there's children involved,
well, that's different.
yeah, it is different. But like, again, it is important for us to still say it. If there's children involved, then okay.
Yeah,
But,
and look, sorry, go.
Go.
I was just gonna say, like, obviously, I've got children, so I knew once they come to an age that I didn't need to be involved. And which was like 11, 12 years old, where I didn't need to, they're not babies anymore. Then I didn't need to communicate with dad. I just didn't need to do that. We didn't need to be talking about things at the end of the day, unless there was an issue at school or there was something to do with our children, then okay. But apart from that, we had no reason.
Yeah, it's not like you guys were going out to dinner dates or anything like that. So
there was no reason, even though we got children together, it doesn't matter. To a certain point, yes, you do that.
When there's children involved, that's the only exception.
Yeah. But not when, like, I know of people who have been divorced and they're older now, whatever, and they still go around their ex. But just from my perspective here of personal things that I've seen, you can still see in one of their eyes that they're longing to they want to be with them still. And I can see that very clearly. And I'm talking about older people here. I'm not talking about 20 or 30 or 40-year-olds, even more mature than that. So you can just see it, like they wish they were still with them, and that's why they're still being around
or something.
Yeah, and they, like, with the other person having a relationship, you can see that they wish it was them having that relationship, because it doesn't
get them back type thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because look, to be clear on this, you don't just, those kind of feelings are different to your normal everyday emotions. When there is love involved, you don't just walk away and be forgotten about, and as if like it's all blanked out of you. Listen, we have things in us from when we were like 6 months old that we're not even aware of, that's in our subconscious. So you can't tell me when you're consciously with somebody that you are saying you love and they saying that they love you, and you've been in a relationship that once you're done, that just disappears. It goes against like human psychology, human, every part of it. It goes against it. It just doesn't work like that. It does not work like that.
Exactly. So guys, we just wanted to add that little point in there, and we will see you on Friday.
See you on Friday.